Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today, our topic of discussion is feedback regulation and zymogens. It means that regulation of enzyme through the feedback mechanisms and zymogen enzyme, another category of enzymes. The key concepts are: what is feedback regulation? What are the proenzymes or the zymogens, and what is the significance of phosphorylation and dephosphorylation of enzymes. The process of inhibiting the first step by the final product in a series of enzyme catalyzed reaction of the metabolic pathway is referred to as, and therefore by this process there is inhibition of the first step by the final product which is formed after a series of the reaction, and thus in a series of enzyme catalyzed reactions of metabolic pathway the first step is inhibited by the final product, and overall it is referred to as the feedback regulation. And students, here is given uh, overall 1, 2, 3, and 4 reactions, series of the reaction, and which are interconnected with one another. And in this way, the reactant is A. It converts into B, C, D, and lastly, the product is E. And therefore, here we can see that first reactant, which is you can say inhibited by the last product which is formed is which is E, and in this way the product E will undergo the process of regulation to the enzyme which carry out the first reaction. It means that after a series of reactions, the end product will itself control the you can say the production or the synthesis of the first step, and in this way the first you can say step has stopped. Then in this case A is the essential substrate, and it's the initial one, and it in fact control the overall you can say the conversion of A into B, B into C, C into D, and D is conversion into E, and therefore A is called the initial substrate, whereas the B, C, D, they are called the intermediates, and E is the final product. And in a pathway which is catalyzed by four different enzymes which are recorded as E1, E2, E3, and E4. It means that in a feedback regulation, the thing which is essential for the understanding is that the final product, not the intermediate, but the final product, like here it is E, it will control the overall process because it was can in fact control the conversion of A into B, and in this case the initial step is suppressed or stopped by the product which is E, by the feedback regulation. And here the very first step, which is a conversion of A into B by the enzyme E1, it's the most effective for regulating the overall pathway by the final product or the end product which is E. It means that after a series of chemical reaction, if certain substrate or the reactant is going to be converted into product, then the product when it is formed in a sufficient amount, it itself control the overall process, and overall regulation of enzyme will occur in a sense that the first step will not be carried out, like here in this representation the first step is the conversion of A into B. And this type of control is often called as negative feedback regulation, since increased level of end product will result in its E1 enzyme, and therefore it decreased the overall synthesis. It means that the feedback, the information what the product will overall provide to the enzyme catalyzed reaction is that it will suppress the first step of conversion. And this is a real cellular economy to save the cell from the wasteful expenditure of synthesizing a compound which is already available within the cell. It means that if the sufficient amount of certain product is already present in the cell, by that it's in the hand of the nature that the biomolecule like the enzyme will not carry out the subsequent reaction, and again the product will not be formed into the cell, because already a sufficient amount of the such product is already present in the cell. And in this case, if the certain product is going to be formed into cell in the for a long time, then there is big accumulation of the you can say the biomolecule or the certain substances into the cell, and which is in a real way will be harmful for the cell and in fact for the individual. Therefore, as wasteful expenditure of synthesizing, like you for useless synthesis of the compound will not be carried out, but it will be stopped by the feedback mechanism. And feedback inhibition or end product inhibition is specialized type of the allosteric inhibition, which is necessary to control the metabolic pathways for efficient cellular function. It means that because these such type of the product are formed into cell, and these if product are going to be accumulate in the cell, then the cell will rupture, cell will under there, you can say the mechanism of the poisoning will going to be occur. And therefore if, this feedback regulation, we can also say it like it's a specialized type of the allosteric inhibition, because in the allosteric inhibition you have also seen that certain modulator or the compounds also attached to the allosteric site, and they may inhibit the or overall they may increase the activity of the enzyme catalyzed reaction, and they also provide the regulation of the enzyme. In the same way, the negative feedback regulation or the end product regulation or also provide the regulation for the synthesis of the certain product into cell. Here is the example of the aspartate transcarbamylase enzyme, and this enzyme is the good example of the allosteric enzyme which are inhibited by the feedback mechanism. It means that this enzyme catalyzes a certain reaction, and after catalyzing that reaction, when the end product is formed, this end product itself will control the overall working of this enzyme, in a sense that the first step, which is the conversion of like A into B, it will be suppressed, stopped, or the it will be controlled by the end product. Then add case catalyze the very first reaction in the pyrimidine biosynthesis. It means that when the pyrimidine are going to be or overall the synthesized into the living system, biosystem, or in the human being, then overall this enzyme, which is the aspartate transcarbamylase, the first reaction, which is for the conversion of the like first reactant or the substrate into the intermediate, it will definitely be this enzyme will definitely be you can say the suppressed or the stopped by the end product. And the carbamylase phosphate undergoes a sequence of the reaction for the synthesis of end product. And like CTP, when CTP accumulates into cell into sufficient amount, it allosterically inhibits the enzyme aspartate transcarbamylase by a feedback mechanism. Like in the next slide, here is given the representation like aspartate transcarbamylase. It catalyzes the union of carbamoyl phosphate and the aspartate in a sense that this phosphate group is released into cell in the form of inorganic phosphate, and there is union of carbamoyl and aspartate to give the carbamoyl aspartate along with inorganic or the free phosphate into cell. And therefore by the series of reaction, this carbamoyl aspartate will be converted into cytosine, cytidine triphosphate or CTP. This cytidine triphosphate, it's the end product, and it will provide the feedback control or the regulation for the activity of the aspartate transcarbamylase. Therefore, this transcarbamylase enzyme will not catalyze the reaction in this way that carbamoyl phosphate and aspartate will not unite together to give carbamoyl aspartate. In this way, cytidine triphosphate or the CTP, it will suppress this enzyme. Therefore, at this point, if I will put across, it means that this reaction will not be catalyzed. And if in the cell these two moieties or the reactants are present, they will be present as such because cytidine cytidine triphosphate has given a message that enough amount of the CTP has been formed into cell, and for the cellular economy point of view, its concentration is enough that it shouldn't be synthesized into the cell for or after a certain time. And therefore aspartate transcarbamylase activity will not be carried out, or it will not be catalyze the first step, and in this way CTP will provide the negative feedback regulation or the end product regulation to regulate the overall activity of aspartate transcarbamylase. Next is the feedback regulation or feedback inhibition. That is there any difference between the feedback regulation and feedback inhibition, or both are the same thing? The main point is which we you have to focus here is there any difference between these two mechanisms, or you can say between these two process, or they are the same one? And sometimes a distinction is made between these two between these two usages, like the regulation and the inhibition. And feedback regulation represent a phenomena. Overall it's a phenomena, while the feedback inhibition involves some mechanism of the regulation. It means that feedback regulation is overall a big phenomena, whereas the feedback inhibition, it's a simple you can say mechanism. And thus in a true sense they are not the synonym, mean they are not the same one. We can't use them alternatively, or you can say you can we can't use them simultaneously at the different positions. These two terminologies are different. And therefore, for instance, dietary cholesterol, it means the cholesterol which we have take through the diet, it decreases the hepatic cholesterol biosynthesis. It means that dietary cholesterol, the food cholesterol, will decrease the cholesterol biosynthesis, which is going to be takes place in the liver. and through the feedback regulation. It means that dietary cholesterol will monitor the synthesis of the hepatic cholesterol synthesis, or the cholesterol synthesis which is going to be takes place in the liver. And in this way, the overall process is the feedback regulation. And this doesn't involve feedback inhibition, since dietary cholesterol doesn't directly inhibit the regulatory enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. It means that this cholesterol, which is no doubt an end product of hepatic cholesterol synthesis mechanism. But here, dietary cholesterol doesn't inhibit the hepatic cholesterol biosynthesis in a way that it overall don't provide the feedback inhibition, because the dietary cholesterol, it doesn't inhibit the enzyme AHMG CoA reductase. However, the activity of the gene in coating this enzyme is reduced. Reduced means repression occurs by the cholesterol molecule, and therefore these two terminologies, like the regulation and the feedback inhibition, these two are the different things. Inhibition is maybe in a sense that overall first process, or the conversion of the firstly reactant into first intermediate, it is suppressed by the end product. And overall, you can say that we can't use these two terms, feedback regulation and feedback inhibition, alternatively. Uh, these two are the different, you can say, terminologies. Next is the activation of latent enzymes. It means that in a cell, there are certain mechanisms which are responsible for the activation of some enzymes, not the all one, but some ones. And latent enzymes as such are inactive. It means that so there are some enzymes in the body which are produced in the inactive form. And some enzymes are synthesized as the proenzymes. Pro mean a stage before the enzyme. It means that a stage of like is present in the synthesized molecules of the enzymes in a way that they are not the active one, but they have to undergo a certain procedures to become active. It means that proenzyme means a stage before occurring, or you can say before displaying them as the enzyme, or they are called the zymogens, which undergo irreversible covalent activation. It means that irreversible means that these activation process, they can't be reversed. And by the breakdown of one or more peptide bond, it means that overall in the proenzymes there are many, no doubt, peptide bonds, but there is breakage of one or more peptide bonds of the proenzyme to give the active, or overall the activated enzymes, which are then able to show their some catalytic activity. For instance, proenzymes, namely chemotrypsinogen, pepsinogen, and the plasminogen, they are the proenzyme or the zymogens, because they are converted into active enzymes like the chemotrypsin, pepsin, and the plasmin. It means that these are the example of the enzymes which are inactive form, or that they are the latent enzymes or the zymogens, and when they are produced into body, they are inactive form, but when they have to carry out some function, then they must be first convert into activated forms. And certain enzymes exist in the active and inactive forms, which are interconvertible depending on the need of the body. It means that some enzymes, they have the capacity or the ability that at the certain stage or the certain time they are present in their activated form, whereas at certain other time they are, or certain other, you can say the state, they are present in the inactivated form. And but these active and inactive form, they are quite interconvertible. It means that active form can be converted into inactive one, and inactive form of that enzyme can be converted into active one. The interconversion is brought about by the reversible covalent modifications, namely phosphorylation and dephosphorylation, and similarly oxidation and reduction of disulfides bonds. It means that in some enzymes there are process of phosphorylation, and it means that incorporation of the inorganic phosphate group, and similarly the removal of this inorganic phosphate group to give dephosphorylation, and therefore these phosphorylated and dephosphorylated forms of the enzymes, they can be interconvertible. And the glycogen phosphorylase is a muscle enzyme which is responsible for the breakdown of glycogen to glucose to provide the energy. But this enzyme is a homodimer. It means that it is present in the form of the dimer, in the form of two subunits, but these two subunits are quite identical, and therefore these identical units behaves or given the name as the homodimer, and they exist into two interconvertible forms. Like here is the overall representation. Phosphorylase B form, which is inactive, whereas phosphorylase A form, which is active one. In this way, phosphorylase B form can be converted into phosphorylase A form or the active form. It means that we can say phosphorylase B is the dephosphoenzyme because it don't have the phosphate group, and therefore it is inactive one, and it can be converted into active or phosphorylase A form after incorporation of the phosphate groups. And this phosphorylation of the serine residues occurs to give the phosphorylase B inactive form to phosphorylase A active form. And the inactive enzyme phosphorylase B is produced when this phosphorylase A gives the inorganic phosphate group in a cell by the enzyme phosphatase, and these phosphate groups are removed to give the inactive form. The inactive form is represented as the squares, whereas the active form is given as the oval, in only to distinguish it from active from the inactive and inactive form from the active one. And therefore the enzyme CAMP dependent protein kinase, and CAMP stands for cyclic AMP, and AMP is adenosine monophosphate, and it's a family of enzyme whose activity is dependent on the cellular level of the cyclic AMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Therefore, this enzyme will work, and therefore it utilizes two ATP molecules and to give two ATP, and these two ATP gives the two inorganic phosphate groups, and they will be binded with this enzyme to give the active form or the phosphorylase A form. Similarly, when there is no need of this phosphorylase A active form, it is converted back to the inactive form after the dephosphorylation, and the enzyme here is the phosphatase, which is responsible for the removal of these phosphate group. Other examples of the phosphorylated active enzymes are the citrate lyase, fructose 2,6 bisphosphatase, and there are some enzymes which are active in the dephosphorylated state, and they become inactive when they are the phosphorylated. It means that the reverse mechanism occurs. In the backstage, we have seen that the phosphorylated form is the active one, whereas the dephosphorylated form is the inactive one. But in this case, there are certain enzymes which are active in their dephosphorylated form, but they become inactive when they are the phosphorylated. For example, the glycogen synthase, acetyl CoA carboxylase, and the HMG CoA reductase. It means that it is not necessary for all the enzymes. When they are the phosphorylated, they become active. But some enzyme can be present in the active form when they are phosphorylated, whereas certain other enzymes, when they are dephosphorylated, um, they become in the active state. It means that it depends on the overall chemistry of the enzyme which makes it active or inactive form in maybe a phosphorylated form, or it may be in the dephosphorylated form. A few enzymes are active only with self-hydryl SH groups, for example, succinate dehydrogenase and urease enzyme, and they are active only with their self-hydryl group like SH group. And substances like the glutathione bring about the stability of these enzymes. Like here is given the oxidized inactive form of the enzyme having the SS linkage, but due to the glutathione, this bonding will break down, and there is formation of reduced form. Reduced mean, in a sense, hydrogen is made here or attached here. Therefore, self-hydryl group formation occurs like ESH and ESH. Therefore, it's the reduced, but it's the active form. It means that in some cases, the reduced form of the enzyme, it is the active one, whereas the oxidized form, it's the inactive one. It is the overall You can say elaboration for the latent enzyme or zymogens or the proenzyme, and description for the feedback regulation. I hope you will understand them in a very well way, because examples are given over here to give the complete picture and elaboration for these regulation. For assignment, give answer for this question. What are applications of latent enzymes that have latent enzyme? Some application that they are present in the that they are present in the inactive form or the latent form, and later on they become activated through certain procedures or the chemical bonding, or you can say breakage of some bond or the peptide linkages. Best wishes and Allah Hafiz.